So let's see about octa in choroidal tumors in the next 10 minutes. We'll start with choroidal hemangioma. So this is a solitary choroidal hemangioma. You can see superior to the disc. And if you were to do a fluorescent angiogram, it fills up early and leaks in the late phase. What the fluorescent angiogram does not show is the type of vessels which are within the hemangioma, because it starts to leak pretty early. And if you were to do OCTA, so you can see what all we can see. We can distinctly make out that the tumor circulation is different from the choroidal circulation. So this is the choroidal circulation, this is the tumor circulation. And there may be some signal void areas, but for most areas you will be seeing this hyperreflective lesions. And in between you may see these signal void areas. This is another tumor just temporal to the fovea, a solitary choroidal hemangioma. As you can see on the fluorescent angiogram, it does not leak much. These are images from our publication. So it does not leak much. And if you were to see the OCTA of the corresponding tumor, the signal void areas, the black areas, are much more than the white areas. What is the relevance? We'll soon see. So 3 different solitary choroidal hemangiomas. These 2 are associated with exudative RD, and this one is an inactive tumor which does not have exudative RD. Let's look at the octa of all these 3. You can see the signal void areas are more in the tumor which is not leaking. So you can have an indication as to which tumor is leaking, which tumor is not leaking, or is not going to leak much by looking at the octa. So more hyperreflective areas, the tumor leaks. Less hyperreflective areas or more signal void areas, it does not seem to be leaking much. So we had this gentleman who had like nevus flammus on the face, and if you were to look at the right and the left fundus, it's very difficult to make out if in case there is a diffuse choroidal hemangioma at all. But if you were to do an OCTA, you can distinctly see the tumor beautifully. You can see this is the normal choroid, this is the OCTA. It's composed of vessels which look like a bag of worms. So this helps us define if there is an associated choroidal hemangioma and diffuse in a patient with the nevus flammus or Sturgeon. Let's go on to choroidal osteoma. These are 3 different patients with 3 different types of choroidal osteoma. Here what you see is a mature bone, more of white lesion. Here we see an osteoma with the choroidal neovascular membrane. Here you see a combination of both. The orange lesion is the immature or the younger tumor, and this white is the more older or tumor with more calcium. So what do we see if we were to do an OCTA here? More, it looks like a distinctive dark background, but in some tumors you can see this dots. So what is supposed to be something like a Havasian canal, you can see this distinctive dots within this dark background. And like a branching vascular network like what you see here can be seen in the more mature part of the tumor. So in the immature part of the orange tumor, you see the Havasian canals, and the more mature part, you can see this branching vascular network. Let's look at the osteoma with the choroidal neovascular membrane. So this gives us much more insights as compared to a fluorescent angiogram. So this is the deeper slab of choroid. You can see a big leash of vessels, but actually you see this is the neovascular membrane, and this is the tumor, and here you see a deep leash of vessels. And if you come to the superficial slab of the choroid, it becomes something like a feeder vessel, and this is actually the CNVM. So the feeder to the CNVM starts somewhere in the deeper part of the choroid, travels to the superficial part, and then feeds the CNVM. In contrast, if you were to do an ICG, this deeper leash is not seen at all. So you see what you see in the superficial part of the choroid, as well as what you see under the retina is what you see on the ICG. But the OCTA shows us the deeper part of this vascular network as well. Let's go on to pigmented tumors. Let's look at melanocytoma. So this is a peripapillary melanocytoma. Doesn't have any vessels. All it shows is a black area. So this can be used as a surrogate marker. If in case you see vessels in that, there is a possibility that tumor is becoming a melanoma as well. Coming on to melanoma, the problem with doing OCTA in thicker tumors is the segmentation. If you were to do an automated segmentation, all you will see partly black. So how can you avoid this? You can modify the segmentation. You can do a manual segmentation. And the same lesion, which is automated segmentation versus the manual segmentation. When you do a manual segmentation, you can see the tumor vessels beautifully. So what you do is move this line up. So you manually draw this and ask the computer to look only at this particular area. And in melanomas up to 3 millimeters in thickness, you will get some useful information on octa. Thicker tumors you may not get. So two different types of melanoma, this much less pigmented with much more pigmented. So you can see the vascularity here. So melanomas have irregular vascularity inside. They are not very well arranged. They may have vascular loops. Vascular loops are prognostic significance in melanoma, but we are not gone to that of making out those vascular loops yet. But you can see the distinctly different types of vasculature which is not arranged in any particular pattern within the melanoma. So this will help us, octa helps us differentiate between the two tumors. Both are peripapillary tumors, and this looks like a melanoma and this looks like a melanocytoma, which indeed you can confirm by looking for the vasculature within the tumor in the melanoma in contrast to what you see in the melanocytoma. What about choroidal nevi? Choroidal nevi, it depends on the overlying RP pigmentation. If it is thin or atrophic, you see the underlying like vasculature much better. And here the vessels are arranged much more linearly, and they are generally more hyperreflective as compared to a melanoma which has multiple areas of hyporeflectivity. You can see this is brighter. You can see some of the vessels here which are arranged in a linear pattern, and here the pigment blocks it. So all through this meeting, we should ask ourselves, so what? So there is a name, there is something here, so what? So what is the relevance? Let's look at if there is any relevance to doing octa in tumors. So here we have a patient who had brachytherapy, and there seems to be a little decrease in the size of the lesion, but are we really sure if the brachytherapy is working? You can do an octa, and you can see the caliber of the vessels and the density of the vessels decreases post-radiation. So this will give us a clue that like you put the plaque in the correct place, and the tumor is possibly on its way to regression by doing this. So this is a melanoma superiorly. You don't see it very distinctly. This patient has had multiple TTTs, and subsequently we did a brachytherapy. And there's no, like clinical photograph-wise, you don't see much of a difference. And OCT-wise, you can see a little bit of fluid here, which are resolved, which are at least like coming down. So OCT itself will give you a clue whether the treatment is working. The OCTA, you may not see much of a difference, but then if you see the normal choroidal vasculature also is thinning out here, indicating the plaque was put in the correct place. So indicating that like this tumor is also like to regress. Similarly, this is a patient with a choroidal hemangioma, and post external beam radiation, you can see the exudative detachment is decreased. And of course, on OCT also the subretinal fluid which you see here resolves. And the octa also shows much of these blacker areas, indicating that the vasculature within the tumor is decreasing, again indicating that this patient is likely to do well. So it helps us prognosticate if the treatment is working or not. But then, not everything is hunky-dory in medicine. So here, there is a caveat to it. This is another patient with a choroidal hemangioma who underwent external beam radiation. The exudative detachment is reduced, and this is the pre-treatment and post-treatment. You can see intraretinal edema, subretinal fluid, which are resolved. But then let's look at the octa. Actually, in contrast to whatever we saw, here we see much more black areas in contrast to post-treatment. Why is it so? Because this fluid was having a masking effect. So don't look at just the OCTA and say that if it's working or not, but then we have to look at everything in addition to the patient in a whole to decide if it's working or not. So to summarize, octa in choroidal tumors, it does have a role. It helps identify subtle tumors as in diffuse choroidal hemangioma. It helps differentiate between tumors, particularly the pigmented tumors, if they are becoming malignant, if they are developing a vasculature. And it also helps identify treatment adequacy. If you put the plaque correctly, whether the patient is responding to treatment, and possibly more to come. Thank you very much.